Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
More than $2 billion pledged to aid long-term recovery efforts in hurricane-ravaged Caribbean islands. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, November 22nd. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Vest. Good evening. Despite their own troubles, Venezuela and Haiti on Tuesday stepped up to join the international community in giving pledges, loans and debt relief at a CARICOM UN high-level pledging conference in New York. Venezuela is forgiving $1 million in debt and also pledged another $1 million, while Haiti pledged $250,000. Their contributions were among those from the region's established partners and new ones, as 400 high-level representatives from governments, multilateral and civil society organizations and the private sector gathered at a UN headquarters to support reconstruction efforts after hurricanes that devastated part of the region and to help the affected islands rebuild as the first climate-resilient countries in the world. The largest amount pledged was $702 million from the Netherlands. $352 million is coming from the European Union, $140 million from the World Bank, $78 million from Canada, $30 million from China and $27 million from Mexico, while smaller amounts have been pledged by Italy, the United States, Japan, Kuwait, India, Belgium, Chile, Denmark, Colombia, New Zealand, Brazil, Kazakhstan, Romania, Portugal and Serbia. The Inter-American Development Bank promised $1 billion in loans, while Italy pledged another $30 million in soft loans. Former United States President Bill Clinton, who addressed the conference, urged the international community to assist the region in their overall developmental needs.
But this is the best opportunity, I believe, that the United Nations has ever had and probably will ever have in the near future, to test everything we all say we believe. Not only about solving the problems we face, but seizing the opportunities we have. Not only about overcoming the burdens that have been left in the wake of all the ruin of these horrible hurricanes, but seizing the opportunity of a place where the sun shines 300 days a year, the wind blows, and there are lots of other opportunities. So I would just like to plead with you to take the leadership and give all the money you can, but also to do as much regional planning as you can and support for individual leaders who are taking unusual initiatives.
Clinton praised the regional leaders for approaching the international community for help, and he said that after years of talking about how to deal with climate change, the donor community has a chance to put plans into action.
Now finally, here it is, a disaster has given us a chance to literally have the world's only laboratory that is both diverse but confined in population, confined in geographic reach, and confined in cost, where we can test everything we all say we believe and see if we're right enough. And if we aren't right on everything, you will have the moral solace of knowing you didn't let Barbuda vanish from the face of the earth. You will have the political confidence to know you didn't let a man in a small place like Dominica, who thought big and long-term in the future, go begging for want of $1 or $2. And I could go on and on. You are never going to get a chance, the donor community, ever, to do so much good so quickly with so little money. Correcting problems of the past and building a different future.
Meantime, CARICOM Chairman Dr. Keith Mitchell describes the pledging conference as an historic event. The Grenada Prime Minister, who co-chaired the event, told the gathering at the close that he was pleased with the pledges and looked forward to the actual delivery. He also made an appeal for participants to join a similar exercise in Grenada in December.
United Nations complete program, the Secretary General of CARICOM and the staff of CARICOM for the amount of work that they have put into this important session that we have here today. And colleagues, therefore, I look forward to many of your commitment to join us in this important partnership in Grenada on the 5th to the 7th of December, when Richard Branson and the private sector team around the globe will be making further commitment to a smart climate change region and the Caribbean.
In other news, the Dominica government is undertaking a review of the island's police service, and a military man from Jamaica will take charge of that effort. National Security Minister Rayburn Blackmore made the announcement on the state-owned DBS radio on Tuesday night. He said the review is being undertaken by a team led by Colonel Jamie Ogilvie of the Jamaica Defence Force. The aim is to assess the effectiveness of Dominica's police service and recommend ways in which it can be improved and strengthened.
This review will cover, among other areas, the following: current strategic security environment, current structure and capabilities, modern policing functions and best practices, capacity building and capability development, gap analysis, gap filling options, recommendations and associated costs, and of course, implementation roadmap. This review is intended to be transparent, wide-ranging, thorough, and far-reaching. The review team has already begun its work and have consulted and will continue to consult with a wide range of individuals and organizations. A report is expected to be submitted at the end of January 2018.
In Trinidad and Tobago, a working committee has been put in place to look at the legislation surrounding prison officers. And that was the outcome of talks between Prison Officers Association and the Attorney General on Tuesday. President of the association, Saron Richards, said the meeting went as planned and was progressive. We get more from Rishi Harinanan of C News.
Coming out of the meeting was the creation of a committee to look at laws which affect the safety of prison officers.
The AG has set up a special committee that will sit almost immediately to draft or to look at the specific areas of legislation where we will be drafting within a 6 weeks period those pieces of legislation that needs to be done in order to advance the security issues and concerns that we have to the Parliament.
He said the committee will be headed by officials from the Office of the Attorney General and includes members of the Prison Officers Association, the Ministry of National Security, among others. There are 5 priority areas for prison officers, but Mr. Richards didn't give details as to what they are.
We are seeing the Attorney General going somewhere. It is for us now to go with him, right? So I'm not going to pronounce and say whether I'm happy or not. That is yet to be determined. What is happening now, we are in the initial stage of that road. When we are on that road, we'll be able to assess it better as time progresses.
As for the mental state of the officers,
we do not have the luxury to labor and languish into any mental state. We don't have that luxury. We just have to do our jobs, and that is what we are doing. We're representing our officers in the best way possible. We have, as I said, the meetings were progressive. What we expected from the last meeting, it has progressed into this meeting, and we have every reason to believe, until proven otherwise, that the AG is heading somewhere with us in terms of fleshing out the necessary pieces of legislation or amendments to legislation.
concern from the officers increased following the recent attack on prison officers, including Saturday's attack on Nigel Daniel. Last month, prison officer Glenford Gardner was shot dead in Diego Martin, while retired officer Gideon Granger was also shot at in Kokori.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, concerned that the end of deportation protection for Haitians in the U.S. will create challenges for the Bahamas. That story and more after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the gem of the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda.
A warm welcome awaits you at our state-of-the-art VC Bird International Airport.
I must say that Antigua is in wonderful shape. 5 minutes off the boat and we're already in paradise.
Antigua was not that damaged by the storm as much as Barbuda was. The hotels are still open, the beaches are still clean, and the people are still friendly.
With Antigua, it's the people that really await you.
Hurricane Irma may have hit a little bit, but you can't even tell that it was ever here. The beach is wonderful. I'm having a great time.
Everything is just as we remember. No storm damage.
We're here and we're open.
And we're better than ever.
I do a lot of destination weddings, and I see weddings that could happen here, and they would be in love with it.
I can't say enough about how in love with Antigua I am.
It is one nation, two islands, and I'm loving it.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with diabetes? If so, it is important that you know about Glucerna. Glucerna is a nutritional supplement for people with diabetes and contains Carb Steady, which helps minimize blood sugar spikes. Manage your diabetes with Glucerna. Glucerna, nutrition for people with diabetes, designed for you.
The Golden State Warriors on the road, facing the Boston Celtics. There's Steph Curry back after missing one game. Where's Kyrie, though? He got the mask on. He's ready to go. Two best teams in the NBA. We all know about Boston's defense. They're ranked #1 in the NBA, and they show right here early on. Jaylen Brown gets the steal, puts on a show. 22 points, 7 rebounds in the game for #7 in your program. Very impressive. Jam. Puts the Celtics to within 3.
The Bahamas Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield is concerned that the end of deportation protection for illegal Haitians in the United States will create some challenges for his nation's borders. The U.S. government on Monday announced the end of temporary protection status for nearly 60,000 undocumented Haitian nationals living in the country. And Henfield is worried that the Bahamas will become an option for the displaced Haitians. He says the government is considering a mission to Haiti to discuss the immigration situation as well as migration to the Bahamas.
You're seeing from Haiti basically economic refugees, economic migrants seeking a better way of life. And so our approach must be, I think, more broad. It's not just about securing our borders, but it should also involve other aspects of commercial activity, maybe by Bahamians in Haiti. It should include what the Haitian government is expected to do as a country with whom we share borders. You know, in the early 80s, we had a drug problem with the United States. We entered into them with a comprehensive maritime agreement which allowed Coast Guard vessels to enter the internal waters of the Bahamas and effect boardings from our sovereign space. I mean, it is time now that we consider some of these issues and some of these things that we can probably get involved with Haiti as well.
Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell is advocating social inclusion for countries wanting to get out of a fiscal rut. He says Caribbean nations facing economic problems should consider implementing homegrown fiscal programs that will find favor with international lending agencies and local stakeholders. Mitchell, who attended last week's IMF-sponsored 6th High-Level Caribbean Forum in Jamaica, told CMC News that when his ruling National New Party took office in 2013, the economy was in a deplorable state. He said he met with various stakeholders, including the trade unions, churches, business community, and non-governmental organizations, to map a way forward.
Government in 2013. Grenada seen as having negative growth for 4 years, and clearly there was little or no growth, no economic activity in the country. Investment climate was extremely poor, and there was a tremendously high unemployment. We came into government in that difficult time, and when Grenada unable to pay its debts and so on, we decided that we had to do something. So we called on all the social partners, the trade unions, the church leadership, the business community, and the NGOs, and we said, look, this is the situation. Here is where we are. We have to do it together. We can't continue like this. We can't continue selling assets to pay salaries. So we have to come together and save our country.
Grenada is emerging from an IMF-supported extended credit facility program of $19.4 million that was approved in 2014, and Mitchell acknowledged that Grenadians had to make big sacrifices.
Said to the country, the sacrifices you make today, when the results come out positively, you will benefit from those results. So that the increased revenue that we have got, the increased grant support we have shared it with the social partners. There are more housing opportunities, loans to public servants and to other persons in the country, to soft loans to build homes. There have been increased spending on the social programs, the old age pensions. People have got increases in that area. There have been increases in employment opportunities for the young people. The MANI program, we have over 4,000 young persons now on job training activities in the school. So people now see that while they made sacrifices and they were not happy to have to do it in a time they were already under stress, financial stress, they are now seeing the benefit of it.
During the last phase of the homegrown program, the IMF reported earlier this year that the island had recorded economic growth of just under 4% in 2016. Mitchell maintains that Caribbean countries with economic problems and resist going to the IMF for assistance could develop their own homegrown programs like Grenada did.
Grenada has done it. We did not send home thousands of workers. We got into a nutrition program. We also said to people, look, that when the program is completed and some of the initiative we took increased taxation, we are prepared to examine it and probably look at a reduction, and we have done so already. We had 15% on people earning over $36,000. We now brought it down to 10, and it might even go down further again. So as the situation improves and the country gain more momentum economically and otherwise, we are prepared to ease up the burden on the people as much as possible.
The Barbados Labour Party, that's the Barbados Labour Department, is revisiting the country's labour laws to improve awareness of labour standards and practices. And speaking at a labour management seminar on Wednesday, Acting Chief Labour Officer Victor Felix said the department will not tolerate any practices that do not conform to local labour laws. He said forced labour is becoming an emergent trend in the country, and he called on participants to report any instances of that illegal practice.
We are aware of the emergence of what the thinkers call modern day slavery, where persons are misled into maybe traveling to Barbados, believe that they're in a legitimate job offering in Barbados, and when they turn up, when they're coerced or encouraged to come to Barbados, then they realize that the work is something other than what they have intended. So we will want to do all in our power to move away and ensure that those kind of things do not happen in our jurisdiction, and where we have any sense that there might be occurring, that we draw it to the attention of the authorities.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, West Indies head coach says the regional side has what it takes to challenge their opponents in their New Zealand tour. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with diabetes? If so, it is important that you know about Glucerna. Glucerna is a nutritional supplement for people with diabetes and contains Carb Steady, which helps minimize blood sugar spikes. Manage your diabetes with Glucerna. Glucerna, nutrition for people with diabetes, designed for you.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Africa's hottest show is back. And this year, MTV Sugar is heading south.
Femi, welcome to Josie.
to a city that never sleeps.
Fun! You can have fun here!
Have you even seen my work? Hot rubbish, man. How would you even know?
MTV Sugar, down south.
Don't mess with me. You're in Joburg now.
West Indies head coach Stuart Law says the regional side continues to make good strides in their performance, even though they've moved forward in small steps. The Caribbean side is coming off a 1-0 win in a 2-test series against Zimbabwe in Bulawayo earlier this month and will be hoping to take that winning form into their New Zealand tour. And Law says the side has what it takes to challenge their opponents.
You know, we've had to change a lot of things. But not drastic changes, just little tinkerings and little making people understand that this is what's needed to keep going forward. So, our fitness levels have gone up. Our consistency then improves on the field, and I've always said these boys have got the skill. Once they have the fitness and the idea of how to play the game, they'll just improve out of sight. So, we're in the right direction. We're moving in the right direction. But we've got to continue to do so.
But the weight of history will be against the Windies as they have not won a series on New Zealand soil in 22 years. However, head coach admitted that playing New Zealand at home will be no walk in the park.
They're a very tough side. We know that. They're going to be highly competitive. Conditions that they're very comfortable in and understand wholly and solely. So, look, we know it's not going to be turn up and win the games. We have to work hard and fight hard to win everything we get. And that's what New Zealand provide. They always provide a great contest, no matter who they play against. They tend to grow, 10 foot tall and become bulletproof. So we know we've got it tough, but I'm confident that our boys can give a really good account of themselves.
West Indies will take on a strong New Zealand A side in a 3-day tour match at the Sutcliffe Oval in Lincoln, starting on Saturday. Well, West Indies opener Craig Brathwaite has broken into the top 20 of the ICC batting rankings after rising one place in the latest standings released on Tuesday. Brathwaite is the only West Indies batsman in the top 20, with the next best being informed right-hander Shea Hope, who is at 25th. The right-hander is coming off an average 2-match series against Zimbabwe earlier this month when he scored 121 runs from 3 innings at an average of 40. He endured a difficult home series against Pakistan with just 101 runs from 6 innings. But has made steady progress in the rankings since then, especially following the 3-test tour of England where he averaged 47. Brathwaite has emerged as the Windies' batting leader in recent years and averages 36 from 42 tests. He is currently in New Zealand with the Caribbean side preparing for the 2-test rubber starting next month. Over to football, there's still much public reaction to the shock announcement by former TNT football captain Kenwyne Jones that he is retiring from international duty. The Trinidadian forward abruptly ended his 15-year professional career on Monday after Major League Soccer franchise Atlanta United opted not to renew his contract for the upcoming season. His former coach Nigel Grosvenor, speaking with Ruskin Mark of C Sports, said while he was caught by surprise, as many were, he believes Jones made the right call.
33-year-old Jones, a long-time Trinidad and Tobago international, had 2 goals in 17 league appearances for the Five Stripes in 2017 and also announced his retirement from the sport earlier in the day on Monday. But one man who knows Jones very well is his former coach at St. Anthony's College, Nigel Grosvenor, who was both surprised yet on board with the decision, knowing Jones, the man, very well.
In all honesty, I can understand Kenwyne, and knowing Kenwyne, if he has made that decision, it's because, he's really either not enjoying it anymore, or he just, want to spend time with his children, family, etc.
Doing other things.
Doing other things, it's important.
Grosvenor, who is now the coach at Queen's Royal College after 34 years with the Tigers, believes Jones didn't want to deny a younger player the chance to carve a name for himself going forward, hence the decision to end his career now rather than help in a transition phase with the national team.
Kenwyne was never, ever, ever for himself. Never for himself. He always wanted to help and bring up the younger ones. Even at St. Anthony's, that was like that. So he probably also, I see there are a lot of reasons probably for him pulling out, and that there could have been one of it, right? Hey, let the younger ones get opportunity, right? So that decision could be just a accumulation of things.
Switching sport now, Trinidad and Tobago crushed host Barbados in the finals of the Barbados Olympic Association Invitational Beach Volleyball Tournament, taking the titles in both the men's and women's categories. The TNT men rallied in straight sets to beat Barbados 21-12 and 21-13. Earlier, the women from the Twin Island Republic also dominated the Bajans, and Damien Best of CBC Sport was there to take in all the action at Pirates Cove in Barbados.
Pristine conditions for beach volleyball. This is the ladies' final featuring defending champions Shari Matthews and Anthesia Mason playing Abby Blackman and Reza Grant of Trinidad and Tobago in the black and red. Both teams traded points early on. Mason with the dig, but the pair from TNT get a break and Blackman puts it away. However, on the very next play, guilty of the service error. Nothing much separating the teams. Good elevation from Matthews, who picks up the backcourt. But it would be Grant and Blackman of TNT who are on course to take the first set. Mason scrambling to recover, just out of reach. During a timeout, it was clear to see that Matthews was nursing what appeared to be an ankle injury, and that made her a liability in what would be a bruising contest. Up by 4, Blackman and Grant will go on to wrap up the first set 21-15, but not before a Herculean effort from the local girls at set point. Matthews keeps it in play, Mason likewise, but all that hard work ends as Blackman sails this one into space. In the second set now, Mason and Matthews down by 3, but somehow they win the one-on-one battle here at the net. Credit to Mason. Fast forward, Barbados trailing 14-18. Blackman with the serve, overhit by Matthews. Grant dive, and Blackman finish. Indeed, it will be Abby Blackman and Reza Grant sealing the ladies' title for Trinidad and Tobago in 2 straight, 21-15, 21-14.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Join us from November 16th to 19th, 2017 for the Barbados Food and Rum Festival, where acclaimed Barbadian chefs and mixologists are joined by Chef Jean-Georges of the U.S., Chef Tom Akins of the U.K., Chef Chris De La Rosa of Canada, to create dining experiences to delight the senses. Visit goingplacestravel.com to book your packages and visit www.foodandrum.com for more information.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today.
Again, the major developments of this day: more than $2 billion pledged to aid long-term recovery efforts in hurricane-ravaged Caribbean islands. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to CornerNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow, but from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.